Yeah, you were too many
That's
people today, right? So
Yeah, it was
yeah.
too many
we have
people
to
for
do
Pierre
one.
Luke. Oh,
Yeah.
our audio's live. Let's start the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another
Hello.
episode of Star Citizen Live, the Turbulent Roundtable. I'm your host, creative content lead Jared Huckabee, and yes, I stumbled on my title there for a second. Uh, I've had a few. If you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it is where we take about an hour out of the end of our week and we hang out with many of our guests. You see Benoit right there. Wave, Benoit. Hi, Benoit.
Hello.
And with Benoit, who you all know from the Turbulent studio, from the times we've talked Turbulent in the past, we are adding a whole plethora of developers from our recent expansion, our recent game studio expansion. I say recent, and I realize it's been like, what, a year?
In a
It's been
year.
almost a year,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
We
So,
already a year of since we started.
well,
we've had our 1 year barbecue 1 month ago. So yeah.
really, recent's a relative term because I still think last year is 2019.
Yeah, yeah.
So. Anyway, this week's show is a little different. We'll of course still be peppering in questions from the live chat here on Twitch, but for the most part, this is a getting to know you. This is a getting to know you stream. We're gonna take this hour and meet a whole bunch of people who have joined the team in the last year that we've never met before. Maybe dive into a little of their origin stories, as it were, and see what brought them to the team and what they do and stuff like that. So let's start off with the obvious person and get them out of the way. Benoit, folks who have followed the project for a while may already know who you are and what you do, but there's always somebody who shows the first time. So,
Sure, of
so
course.
introduce yourselves. Who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen and Turbulent?
All right. So I'm Benoit. I'm a technical co-founder at Turbulent, and so I've been on the Star Citizen project. I want to say since the very beginning, so the Kickstarter era, and the group that we have here today is really an amazing group of people that recently joined our team as part of a new game team that's dedicated to Star Citizen, right? And so I'm super excited for you guys to get to meet them, right? And so that's pretty much it. I don't want to take too much space. I'm just here as moral support for everybody.
Now, Turbulent came on board originally as our web partner, our platform
Yes,
partner.
correct.
Web is a little too simplistic.
Sure.
You guys, built our entire platform that the game sits on top of. Now, in the last year, we have expanded to a full-fledged game studio. How many folks do you have there at the studio now?
Roughly, we're up to 30, right, Guillaume? Guillaume could give us the right number.
37 now.
Oh my God.
37. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's already 37 brave souls that we've been able to coerce to join this crazy ride. So yeah, it's you're right. We started as most of our implication have been on the web, on e-commerce systems that drive the game, how you get your pledges in game, stuff like that, and so this new expansion is really coming closer to the game, making environments, right, and building gameplay features. So it's really exciting to get started on that stuff. It's pretty cool.
All right, so let's get to meet some of the folks that we are less familiar with. Let's start with you, Pierre Luke. Pierre Luke, who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
He's not here, Pierre Luke. He might be in the next stream, but not this one.
Pierre Luke bailed.
Yeah.
Bailed
Yeah,
at the
no.
beginning, but he's in Twitch chat. Hi, Pierre.
Yeah.
He just want.
I
miss
I
you.
can I can promise Pierre Luke is going to be here the next time.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
those IPAs?
All right, Guillaume, you take it. Who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen? And
Okay,
Turbulent?
I'm Guillaume. I'm the production lead for the Montreal studio. Essentially, my job is I was one of the first one to set up the studio with essentially Pierre Luc, and my job is to accompany and support the team to really make sure that they have everything they need to be successful, to coordinate with some of the key stakeholders at CIG, so Ian, Todd, Ricky, Aaron, Brian, and essentially define how we can best help Star Citizen, we can best help CIG, and see how we can actually set in place mandates and build teams around those mandates to help the game and help deliver the game. So that's what I do. It means it's a whole set of tasks, going from some that are more HR like, some that are more production like test tracking and stuff like that, and some are more like communication with some stakeholders inside CIG.
Okay. And what's your position?
Production lead.
Production lead. So,
Yep.
Do we have any other producers in the group here? Is Guillaume representing production?
Thank God we only have 2.
2? Right. Let's go to you, Annie. Who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen?
So yeah, I'm an associate producer working with Guillaume to help out the team plan out their workload and make sure that they're basically focused on their job and have everything that they need, as Guillaume said, to be able to move forward and have clear visibility on what we're going towards with this project, to make sure that everybody communicates efficiently. I mean, it's a huge production, right? So it's an international production between like a number of very big studios scattered across the world. So, communication is very much key in that context. And Guillaume and I are there to make sure that that goes smoothly and everyone is kept happy, and we are as transparent as possible with our people to move this thing along, this beast of a project.
And
I can't say how happy that Annie joined us 2 months ago. I was about to go crazy, and now she came in, did lots of awesome stuff. She's been clearing Jira, clarifying the tasks, really supporting the team. So the fact that she's here is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's actually what I was about to
cleaning
ask.
Jira is not very glamorous, but it needs to be done. So
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask, is when did you come on board with the team? So about 2 months ago.
yeah, it was 2 months ago on the actually on the 14th. It was exactly 2 months ago then. And yeah, I mean, it's been going really fast. This team is wonderful. We have a lot of industry veterans in Montreal, and we've been lucky enough to sign a lot of them with us. The artists are wonderful. We have a great design team. Our concept artists, Brittany, who's here, are mind-boggling. They are wonderful. Like, the stuff that they come up with is insane. And so it's really motivating to be on a project with such talent like surrounding you. You, as a production team, like we do want to help them as much as possible. We're not on the creative side, but we can recognize like the insane amount of talent that is in that team.
I mean, to your credit, like Annie landed on the team and did not get overwhelmed, right? So that's a big achievement.
All right, Jason, Annie got singled out and you didn't. How does that make you feel?
I'm fine with that. Want to know a bit about me?
So let's go to you next, Jason. Who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
I'm a senior environment artist. I joined 3 months ago, a bit more now. I joined the team, and I do all the artsy fartsy stuff. So walls and ceilings and lots of things that players just don't really notice, but all the environment settings and props and whatever you interact with, I've been around, kind of thing.
Okay.
And right now we're working on some space clinics for the hospitals.
You're working on the space clinics now. Where'd you come from before Star Citizen?
I've been in the industry for like 16 years now, almost. I started actually like doing, as a game tester, doing mobile. So that I remember the Motorola Razr and like Sony Ericsson show, and like the screens are like 1 inch by 1 inch. So I was like 21. So yeah, coming in the morning and working on a 1 inch screen by 1 inch screen is a bit not always easy, especially when you're young and sometimes you party a bit too much the previous night. So I started there and then joined Ubisoft and a couple other studios. And I met a bunch of these guys at Warner Brothers actually several years back. And we had like the best, this is a stellar art team overall, like it's really competent people, easy to interact with. And eventually like most of the gaming industry, after a project ends, sometimes a project like players dissipate and everything, so we lose our friends sometimes. And yeah, the studio popped up here in Montreal, and a lot of guys that I used to work with joined the team here. So I was like, oh man, I'd love to get that feeling back again. Just working with some art focused guys that really are passionate about art in general. So I think I've tried applying actually with the guys at Star Citizen when I was at Warner Brothers, but I think they didn't have a studio here. And I was like, do you mind if I work remotely? And it was like, it's not a possibility. So I was like, all right, I'll put that on the back burner. But I really wanted to join this team for a long time. And eventually, like, I moved off to another studio. And then last year got poked by Pierre Luke and Guillaume, and they're saying they're trying to get the team back together. So I was like, oh man, let's go for round 2 and let's see where it takes us.
Get the band back up on stage.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be working with Rainer again?
Other than Rainer, it's great, but you go with it.
Can you elaborate on that?
No, Rainer's a great. He's like a brother. We get along super well and we work well together.
Well, let's touch on that a little bit more. Today's show is all intro. So for the folks who are in chat, like, what are we talking about today? This is it. We are getting to know some folks today. But so we'll do some more introductions here in a minute. But I want to touch on something you said. The previous relationship with some of the folks that you've known. How many of you? Let's just do hands here. Have worked with each other before Star Citizen, somewhere else? All right. So let's hear a little bit about that past. I know a lot of you came from Ubi at some point, right?
Yes.
Yep. Like a rite of passage for the city, I think.
Yeah. That's true. And some of you came from worked together at Warner's, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Warner Brothers.
So is it just Warner and Ubi, or were there other connections that I'm not?
I worked at IDOS for 7.5 years before moving on to Turbulent. Those are the only 2 studios I worked with. So I started in the industry at IDOS in 2013, and I was there until April.
What were some of the projects you worked on in IDOS?
Well, I worked on the 2 Marvel partnerships that IDOS was in charge of. So I worked on Avengers alongside Crystal Dynamics for 2 years, 2017, 2018. And then I moved on to Guardians, which is coming out in October, and a wonderful, wonderful project with such talent in that studio too. I still feel like they are a little bit my industry family, but at some point it's nice to move on and go see what other people are doing, and then be sort of dipped into like this whole live process. It's very interesting. It's a very different way of developing games, and I think I'm just a better producer for trying stuff out and be exposed to that.
I can't move on until we get the name of your cat, who was in frame just a few moments ago.
I have 2. One is called Shiraz, and the other one is called Gilles. Very unconventional names.
Very Quebec. Gilles.
Hey, look,
Gilles is old and senile and drools most of the time, so I think it's fitting.
The perfect name.
All right, Rainer, you're up. Who are you, and what do you do for Star Citizen?
So, like Jason, I'm an environment artist. I've been working in the industry for about 13 years now. Started working back in 2008 at Behavior.
Rainer, we're looking at your hat.
Yeah, sorry. So, started working on a Wii game. It was a Meissing's racing game. And then I moved on to AAA. Then I moved on to IDOS, UB, Warner Brothers, back to IDOS, and now I'm here working on Star Citizen with these fine people. Yeah, it was when Pierre Luke and Guillaume contacted me to ask if I'd like to join back and work with Jason and all the other guys again. It was, I guess it was an easy decision to make to get back with some old pals and work on this massive game too. It's like compared to all the other AAA titles, this game is just massive. Uh, it's hard to imagine, like, when you get in, like, it's the scale of everything. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's my short story.
Okay. Annie, who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen? I'm sorry, not Annie.
Me?
Jeez.
Sorry,
No,
Brittany?
we just did Annie.
Yes.
We just did Annie. Brittany.
Yeah.
I told
All
you.
right.
I told them beforehand that I was going to slaughter
Yes,
the names, and I was
we
doing
were
so
waiting
good.
for that.
I made it 15 minutes into the show
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
messed up the names.
That's pretty
Okay,
good.
my name's Brittany. It's close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a concept artist. I'm from Toronto. This is my first job in the industry. I started back in November. It's been a very cool ride. It was definitely a steep learning curve at the beginning, but I feel like I've learned a lot, and it's been really fun. Everyone's been really helpful and supportive. So, yeah.
And what are some of the things you've worked on so far?
The first thing I started on was the colonialism stuff. So that was kind of a challenge. I don't think they really had the whole look of it totally established at that point. So yeah, I was just sort of throwing out weird ideas for that.
No.
Also
would-
worked on, I guess, yeah, some hospital stuff, and also the pyro stations as well.
I was literally just having a conversation with somebody the other day about the colonialism stuff, because we were showcasing it quite regularly on our sprint reports, and then we're holding back now because you might see it in somewhere else soon. That's really obvious and coming up. But one of the folks I was discussing with was it doesn't look like a lot of the other things that are in Star Citizen, and I was like, I think that's kind of the point. It's about pushing and expanding. The look of Star Citizen. I think you've definitely accomplished that. So
Yeah, it's like sort of retro sci-fi looking with big clunky buttons, and yeah, it's kind of different from everything else.
cool. Benjamin,
Yeah.
who
hello.
are you? What do you do for Star Citizen?
I'm a lead tools programmer on Star Citizen, so I joined Turbulent last December. And so I work on the tools for these guys, for artists and designers in the editor and in 3ds Max, Houdini, to help them produce the awesome stuff for Star Citizen. And mostly I'm specialized in procedural generation so that we can place more stuff in the universe and go faster for that. And so yeah, and Star Citizen with lots of star systems in the perfect place to have a lot of generation to do in the universe. So
Okay. So when you say tools and stuff, are you talking about specifically the procedural stuff, or are there other tools that I'm not thinking of at the moment?
yeah, our big mandate is the procedural generation, but also helping like every artist and designer work in the CryEngine editor to do the levels and the art and all that, and so it's improving those tools and add new features so that they can do more content for the game more easily. And
Okay, cool. Nano, you're up. Who are you? What do you do for Star Citizen?
Hey, my name is Neno. I'm a level designer on Star Citizen. So since we got here, I worked on hospitals. We did a few months of prototyping, different gameplay ideas. Currently, we're working on the Derelict Caterpillar puzzles. And anytime we have a chance to work with the procedural tools or level artists helping out here and there, we just try to fix the bugs, keeps everything under control. Before Star Citizen, I worked at Ubisoft. I'm fairly new to the industry. I've only been here for 3 or 4 years. So I worked on For Honor and Rainbow Six before at Ubisoft. So, I mean, I had a great time there. But the reason I joined Star Citizen is because there's a few people with who I worked on For Honor and Rainbow Six that I knew were coming to this studio. I knew their work ethics. I knew who they were as team players. So, I mean, it was also an easy decision for me just to make the jump and, keep working with the people that I loved working before.
I think your evolution from Ubisoft being on For Honor as a camera specialist to design is a pretty cool story. Maybe that would be worth it expanding on.
Well, yeah, I mean, my brother worked at Ubisoft, I think, for maybe 13 years now. So I changed my career when I was like 30 years old. So I jumped at the first. I went to school in level design, and as soon as I got an opportunity to work at Ubisoft on anything, I took that opportunity. So I worked as a camera specialist on For Honor, which, I mean, it was a crazy steep learning curve, but I loved every second of it, and I had to deal with all the teams, from UI to gameplay to maps to level designers. So, it helps you break out of your shell and just be able to communicate freely with everybody. And it was a lot easier when we were in a studio, so you could just get off your desk, walk up to somebody, ask them for help. But obviously it's a bit different now. But I mean, we're still having a good time at Turbulent.
Oh, that's why your clips are so nice when you're doing like little gameplay clips. I'm always like, man, that's like pretty good. The camera work is amazing. I understand now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Last but certainly not least, other Guillaume. I don't know how we're going to separate the two of you. You guys gave me two Guillaumes. Guillaume, what do you do for Star Citizen, and who are you?
All right. So I'm Guillaume Sardon. I'm a technical artist. I've joined Turbulent in December, if I remember correctly. And so I work closely with Benjamin. We are in the same team, which is pretty not common, I would say, like having a tool team that can embrace developers and technical artists in the same group. It's pretty unique opportunity we had there to create such a team, because right now we are really into creating a synergy between the users and the developers. So I'm really glad we had this opportunity together. We used to work together at Ubisoft for the past 2 years, and prior to that I used to work on open worlds on Ghost Recon in Paris. So yeah, I tend to have this kind of vision of how to use procedural tools in the context of the projection. But at the same time, I was a bit in a small case when we had to work on Rainbow Six Extraction, because that was more a game, kind of a corridor game. And procedural tools were kind of limited in their use in this context, because they tend to be used for creating a lot of content. And actually, when Guillaume came to me with the proposal of Star Citizen and the huge scale it represents, like, I jumped on the occasion and I was like, now we're gonna talk. So yeah, we're gonna unleash the power of Houdini mainly, because this is the most important tool we are trying to bring into the editor of Star Citizen, and try to make as much tool as possible, fast as we can, but at the same time making sure that they answer to real needs of users. And I can't wait to reveal our first tool set to the developers and make sure they're gonna create awesome content with it.
Yeah, these two are procedural wizards. So having a dev and technical artist paired together is just making magic, basically. It's pretty cool.
And they've been able to assemble a super awesome team of programmers and tech artists, or hopefully that you guys can meet later on.
Yeah, I think we hit our limit with how many people we could squeeze into this one. So this is definitely the most people we've had on an SCL before. So if you're just joining us now as we approach the halfway mark, we are meeting the team at Turbulent this week. We're chatting about who they are and how they got where they got their starts and stuff. If you want to see a bit about the actual work that they've been doing, you should check out yesterday's Inside Star Citizen with a look at many of the hospitals that are coming online with the upcoming Alpha 315. So many of you have, some of you, like Guillaume, joined the project a year ago. Benoit, you joined the project like
forever ago.
Yeah, but before color TV existed. But a lot of you have come to the project relatively recently. So I want to do something that we don't normally get a chance to do here. I would like to know why. You've all moved through the industry. You've all worked at various places. What brought you to Star Citizen?
Sorry.
Well,
I mean,
guess
a project of that magnitude is, I mean, it's hard not to be flabbergasted by whatever you're seeing. And the fact that it's already playable and out there in the world is something that most of us really haven't experienced. It's all hush hush for years usually. And now we're, you know, as we're building it. Sorry, I cut.
Yeah, we lost
Yeah,
you
you
there
cut
for
a little bit.
It's a little
Sorry.
bit. It's okay. You're back.
But yeah, we can, you know, we can see people reacting to it as we're building it. We can, you know, we can see how it resonates with people. And I think that's something that not a lot of us have experienced in the past, developing like those super long productions that we again, that we have to keep secret for 3, 4, 5 years sometimes. So I think that's, you know, it's an interesting way of developing games and yeah,
sometimes
especially-
forever. Like there's
Yeah.
some games that we've worked on that got scrapped. So, you know, it's kind of sad to work on something that looks amazing and then, sorry, can't show it. It's gone. It's poof. So yeah, to work on something that has frequent patches, playable in alpha, it's very encouraging, motivating as well.
Yeah, it feels like we're working for the players and not like
Yeah.
investors. You know, it's like it's a team effort. We're not like the big money pocket guys. We're working for everybody that loves the game and the whole community. So it's a very different feel. That's what attracted me the most, for sure.
And
Well,
as artists, like it's also it's just a really good looking game. It's a passionate thing for us too. So yeah, it's kind of funny that we'll be able to update our art stations before our previous games get to ship too. So that's how quick it moves. And
So quick it moves here. Doesn't always seem like it, but
yeah.
How
But
about
also
you, Benjamin?
when we work on different projects, you're always asking yourself as a developer, imagine if this game was actually coming out on the next gen or on the next CPUs and GPUs. And currently that's pretty much what we're doing here. Like it's hard to run this game even on high-end PCs. So being able to work on a game that's built for the future, but that currently is in a little bit of a shaky state is very exciting as a developer, because you get to just constantly try to push those limits as much as you can, because you're expecting that eventually, you know, hardware is going to catch up. So it's exciting to not have those limitations already put in place on day one, and then you work on a game for 4 years, and when you release it, well, it's been 4 years of new releases of hardware, as opposed to right now, you know, we're just constantly trying to push the limits, even though if the hardware can't necessarily always keep up.
I mean, I liked also, like, to your point, Rainer, just before that, the hospitals were the first full levels that the team has put out in the patch, which is, well, yeah, very nice, right? Really cool. But it's the fact that you can actually read the feedback from players when they see them, right? Even though they're not completely available right now in 3.14, but even just having the lobbies, like I think Nano, you went in and you guys were taking selfies in game, like, look, we're in the game,
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really invigorating, right? To be able to ship often
and see positive comments too. Just to see praise on your work so quickly, because I joined last December and already I get to see like what I've worked on in the past 6 months is already getting. It's nice to see comments already. So, which goes back a bit to what
I'm getting spammed with comments right now. I'm getting comments from all the people. People are sharing the comments on Teams, and a lot of people are asking if we could say some things in French. Si la poutine va arriver dans Star Citizen. Je pense pas qu'on va avoir de la poutine dans Star Citizen. On peut rien promettre.
Le space poutine.
How's your French, Jared? Did you practice this?
Omelette du fromage, as Steve Martin would say.
There you go.
Have you ever tried poutine?
No, I've never tried poutine.
Oh man.
Oh, you should. You're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out. If you're coming to Montreal just for poutine, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I would say it's even better if your first one is is consumed at 3 a.m. after a night out drinking. It
Yep.
is the best context to have this food.
It's usually the rite of passage, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
The poutine and the axe throwing.
Correct.
There you go.
Right.
It's a very Canadian experience, I
Correct.
guess.
There you go.
Right. Let's talk about some of the things we're working on right now. So obviously, for folks who saw yesterday's Inside Star Citizen, hospitals are probably the first big tentpole release, but they're not the only thing in development that's going. So who can talk a bit about what they're currently working on?
I can talk. I mean, I think it's already on the timeline what we're working on. We're working on the puzzles Derelict. So we're working on the crash chip, the Caterpillar crash chip, because it gives us a lot of room to add in puzzles inside of the Caterpillars, and we're also trying to develop them in a way that we don't depend on art or missions or other teams in Turbulent. We obviously need help from all other teams, but we're trying to be as self-sufficient as we can to ship them, to bring in gameplay, to bring in puzzles, to bring in exploration, whether it's on planets or in space. So yeah, currently we're working on the Derelict Puzzles, and we'll see what doors that opens and where it leads.
Let's talk a little bit more about what that idea itself is. Many of the derelicts that folks know in the game right now are basically just points of interest. It's a giant environmental art installation, and that's about it. What you're talking about is actually adding derelicts to the game that serve a gameplay function of some sort.
Yeah, so we're looking right now at where we're going to place those derelicts so that some are easy to find, some are hard to find. We're also trying to maximize the use of the new tech that you guys are bringing in, so the scanning and the loot crates. So basically the way we're trying to build them is you have a crash site that's in 3 or 4 pieces, so you might have a crash site with 1 puzzle and 3-4 loot crates, or you might have a crash site with 3 puzzles inside and multiple loot crates with varying rarity. So, our goal is to give those players who like to explore, gather, loot, it's always fun to open a chest and you get an epic or a legendary item and things like that. So, I think we're trying to go in that direction for the explorers and add more gameplay puzzles and such things.
Any dangers? You talk about loots and things to find and discover, but any dangers?
Actually, we stumbled upon this cool little gadget. I think it was a mine that was prototyped. So, we're going to try to add dangers. Eventually, we're also planning on revisiting those puzzles when we have things like fire in the game that's propagating and things like that. And, as soon as we get planetary nav mesh and other things like that, sky's the limit in Star Citizen.
Planetary nav mesh, of course.
Actually, sky isn't the limit in Star Citizen.
I was going to say, sky isn't the limit.
Yeah.
But a planetary nav mesh is essential for getting NPCs to be able to, roam these
Correct.
things. And what else are we working on? Who wants to talk?
You guys
Guillaume
can
or
jump in.
Benji?
Well, there's us artists. We're still working on the hospitals. Jason and I are on the space clinics. So yeah, that's going along pretty well. Pretty quick too.
Yeah, it's a pretty far stage right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're approaching final.
Yeah. So I guess it was a small mandate compared to New Babbage. And there was a lot of reuse, but it had its own challenges since it's pretty much it's a map that we're using to also test out the procedural tools. So there's a bit of like problem solving with that. Like how can we keep the thing looking interesting while being compatible with modular tools, the procedural tools. So yeah.
Let's talk about this. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No. I was about to say that actually those modules that they are creating right now is a good good elements for us to play with for the new version of the tool they are using right now, because we are revamping that tool with our own proposal, and we are using the bit NPCs they are making to actually test it in the for the new context and this new way of setting them up. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to improve those quirks you can have already using the previous version, because we are definitely expecting to have those solved by the next version. Yeah.
Let's talk
Nice.
about some of those tools. Maybe Benoit, Benjamin, you can fill us in. What are the? Let's start with the scope. Let's start with the scope. Let's start with where we're trying to go with these tools. What are we trying to accomplish?
Well, it's how can we generate a lot of environments quickly? Like, for example, the first mandate we checked was for the space station. So we want to create a lot of them. But like if you check, if it takes you like 1 month to do a space station because you assemble the different rooms manually, you will take years and years to do all the space station for all the star systems. So what we are doing, like we already have a tool, the procedural layout tool, that is a way to stitch those rooms together. Like you give some rules, you want the kitchen next to the bedroom, something like that, and it can generate different layouts. But yeah, the problem with that at some point was that it didn't give enough control to the user to define exactly what you wanted. And so we are designing a new way to do this procedural approach so that we can assemble those bricks more quickly and easily, and so that every artist can say, okay, I want that there and specifically that there, and giving different rules, and so that we can generate a lot of them that are interesting and beautiful and fit with the fantasy of the game. And so for that, we are integrating Houdini, which is a software used for procedural, into the editor so that it can communicate between the tool we normally use to create the levels and this tool that is made for using those Lego bricks and making rules to assemble stuff. So yeah, it's mostly how can we do that in a
So it's mostly just how can we make the game that we're trying to make.
Well,
No small task.
One super interesting aspect to what the guys are doing is in other companies, when you have the pressure of being on a 2-year project or a 3-year project, there's a lot of pressure to do tech and tools super quickly. And developing this type of ideas that the guys are putting together, which essentially took a good, and correct me if I'm wrong, but 6 to 8 months of actually really thinking about it, looking at the architecture of the project and seeing how you guys can implement this, is not usually a luxury that we have on other projects. So having CIG giving the team the time to develop and think about a solution that can scale throughout the years was like a godsend essentially. So
you got to remember that one of the missions for the studio is to be able to create star systems, right? So I mean, you can't create a star system by hand, right? And so the mission that Benjamin, Guillaume, and the rest of the procedural team have is basically to assist all these nice artists and level designers so that they can make more of the good stuff, right? And so in a way that keeps gameplay interesting and fun. And one of the things, you guys are a bit modest in your approach, but is that it's also in the small things, like you can stitch a space station, right? And it's really great, but it's also in the small things, right? Let's say a small cable run or placing objects, right? And stuff like that, and the ability to make that procedural so that every step is faster is
Yeah, because we think big at first with procedural, like planets and all that, but when we see our environment artist work, like if you see like the books behind me, if you want to place that by hand in a level, you will have to place them one by one, but you lose a lot of time because you can say, okay, fill me with this shelf with books, and that's the type of tool we can do also with procedural. So we try to tackle the big stuff and also the small stuff to help them fill the world with interesting stuff.
Speaking of
so that Jason and
shelves.
Rainer don't have to spend all day placing Lego bricks.
Yeah, we can
Or
focus
placing
on the
books.
important stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, placing books in the bookshelf is not always the funnest part of the day. So yeah, any procedural tools to speed things up and get into the more important stuff. And as I said earlier, that the scope of this game is so massive. It's tools that we need to help us create content at a quicker pace.
Yeah, the scale is just crazy because every time I'm working, I have like Star Citizen videos playing on YouTube, people exploring, doing missions, and I feel like I've been here for 8 months, and even now I'm still figuring out a lot of things. And every now and then I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea we actually had this implemented into the game already working, and I could just jump into Star Citizen and go play with it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the game is just huge. Even after 8 months, I feel like I'm still ramping up to learn everything that was built so far.
Yeah.
I won't
And
tell
seeing
you.
and seeing the screenshots on the Reddit page, like some shots are just so incredible.
Yeah. Like so many times I try to poke people on Reddit and ask them where on what planet and where did you get this screenshot from, because I want to put something there, and like 99% of the time I never get a reply, and then you just gotta jump into the editor and cruise through the planet, try to find it.
Yeah.
With a project as big as we are, and with as many studios around the world, I won't tell you how many times I've received messages from developers who learn what other teams are doing from our programs, the same as our backers do.
100%.
So
exactly.
It's just hard to hold all this. It's just everybody's working on their siloed piece of the puzzle, and it's hard to track everybody else's. So
totally.
It's one of the mission statements of our programming. It's also an internal communication tool to keep everybody going. Benoit, Guillaume, one of the things that we talked about the back when we first started chatting months ago was this mission of the Turbulence team, of the Turbulent Studio, to attempt to be as self-contained as possible, to be able to not just create environments, but to provide the gameplay for those environments and the feature sets for those environments stuff. 1 year on now since taking that goal, how do you feel about your progress so far?
Want to go, Benoit, or
No, I'm gonna let you go all out, dude. You go for it.
All right. I think we're doing really good. It's essentially what we want to create is a team that's somewhat autonomous, but not working as a lone wolf, inside the company. So we are connected with other teams. We have reviews with other teams, and just this morning we had a bi-weekly art reviews in which all the teams were showing absolutely amazing content. But when we work on the day-to-day, that's when we wanna have more proximity with the team, so that for example, when the people in the UK are going or leaving work, if we have questions, well, it's much more simple if we have someone here to answer them. So I think so far the combination between level design and environment art was absolutely successful. Then adding the tools team, who not only are helping us sometimes to understand better things, but also doing quality of life improvements for the artists and the designers, was also super helpful. And it's essentially our base of growth, where we want to grow the entire studio by adding teams that are relevant to each other, so that we support each other even more in that area. And to be honest, when I first joined, and when we first joined the 1 year ago, we thought it would be quicker to ramp up and let's say do a star system. Now, and that was probably very naive of us, now we see the absolutely gigantic amount of work a star system takes to develop. But I'd say, so that's in terms of the scope, but in terms of the team we've assembled, the luck we had of having so many talented people, and the 37 people that we signed and that are working with us are top in their craft. So I mean, in terms of creating an autonomous team that can work together, we're so lucky.
We're autonomous, but it's it's important to know that we still ask for a lot of help from other teams in CIG, in Europe, and everywhere. So, I mean, in no way we could have ever shipped hospitals or even anything without the help of the level design team in Europe. And I mean, everybody from VFX artists to environment teams to lighting artists everywhere. I think on daily basis we chat with the level design team in Europe, and even all the time we're asking, what's this bug? How do I fix this? Because they have years and years of experience under their belt. So, you know, for them, the problem resolution is 5 times quicker than it is for us, because they've seen all these bugs 100 times and we're seeing them for the first time and we're a little bit clueless. So, I mean, we try to be autonomous, but at the same time, the support we're getting from every other team in CIG is what's helping us ship these things.
Yeah, the people were so welcoming. It was pretty amazing to see
Yeah.
that.
I mean, and to echo on your question, Jared, in terms of, I think we're doing great environment-wise. It's been super nice. I think that the ramp-up's been great. On gameplay side, you know, we still looking for more hires to be able to totally dive into complete gameplay loops, right? Though, on the design side, like Neno was talking about, like that's, you know, we're moving forward with puzzles and what we're able to action today. But, you know, I feel like we still have ways to go to dive full into like new gameplay features, but we know which ones that we're looking at. I can't talk about that, but you know, and as Guillaume was saying, the strategy is going to be to have a team that can complement the group here, right? To basically iterate together gameplay, level design tools, art, concept, everything, right, into one
I mean,
giant loop.
those are all things that are in the work, but like again, as we discussed earlier, like the studio is literally the you know, game development side of Turbulent has been on for a year. Anyone who has worked in this industry knows that a year is nothing. Like it's a very short amount of time. So just to have been able to give to the community what we have so far, like the hospitals, and put all these process in place, that takes time. Like it's insane the amount of stuff we have achieved in such a short time. And I mean, Guillaume can correct me, but like about half of that year was just ramping up and finding the right people for the job. So all in all, it's 6 months of development. So it's very inspiring what we're able to achieve with these amazing talents across the board.
And going back to the gameplay side that Ben mentioned, can we do a shameless plug?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
If one of you is a lead gameplay programmer, drop us a line. We're looking for one.
In the
That's
Montreal
right.
area.
We got
Yeah.
some really great topics for you. Contact us and we'll
Yep.
talk.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Because I mean, all of the kick-ass, and I mean, Brittany's been very quiet, right? But she's such a talented artist. All of the concept that Brittany can put in, you know, is you want to be part of that, if I can say, right?
Talk to us more about your concepts, Brittany.
Let's see. Well, it's been really cool because I'm from Toronto, and well, everyone else is in Montreal, but even more, this is like a totally international team where we have meetings with people in the UK as well, and now as well character concept artists in California. So yeah, it's been really cool seeing everyone's work. It's really inspiring. We have meetings where everyone just sort of showcases their stuff, and it's fun how it's international with you know, we have all kinds of accents going on. We have French, American, English accents. Yeah, it's super cool just seeing everyone's work like every week. It's definitely pushing you to you want to try and keep up with everyone. Yeah.
Are you still working
Brittany
on
is a good example of like we have a couple of members of our team that it's, you know, their first job in the industry, and their talent is absolutely insane. And then you have alongside of them, you have veterans who have worked on a multitude of very high-end projects. So I think it's a good mix, and I can't state enough how good a job Benoit and Pierre Luke and Guillaume did to find the exact right set of people to work together. Like it's really the name of the game. You were asking Jared why move from another studio to here? Like this is a big part of it. Like this team is amazing.
And like, thanks for giving credit, but it's really credit to team because the team is itself the biggest recruitment way and the biggest recruitment argument. I mean, there's people who like having the people here talk to other people, to their friends, and recommending people is by far the way we've been able to assemble this team.
But you know, one of the things too that I find really special is the proximity between the different groups, right? And so for me, it's been really key to get, you know, design, level design, art, environment art, concept working together, and tools. I don't want to forget tools; those guys are important. But it's that they work together and they don't have these silos between them, right? Because that's where, especially in this project where we had so much ramping up to do, it's key to be able to, an environment artist needs some help because he's not sure what to do at a specific area in a map. Concept can be right next to them going like, oh, let me sketch you something, right? And then boom, 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 that's unlocked. We move forward, then we put elevators in and then everybody's depressed. So now we have to work on elevators. Then we get people to help in, but it's a bit like, it's this framework of support between the teams instead of creating the silos between the teams. Is to create one team that's completely integrated. And of course that includes, like Neno was saying, everybody at CIG, right? Like this team is not, even though we're trying to be autonomous, we are part of the SIG family in terms of everything that we do, discipline, between the disciplines, right? And so that for me is that it creates this exponential loop, right, between everybody, and that's really key to producing content quickly and getting people excited about it, no matter what discipline they're working on. So,
talking about discipline now, we have a pretty wide collection. We've got level designers and tools programmers and tech artists and producers and concept artists and environment artists and whatever the hell Benoit is. Annie was talking about something during the pre-show before we started about how there was an article many years ago online about doors. You also mentioned elevators. Elevators, the greatest killer in the game development kingdom. Doors are perhaps the simplest thing that is actually one of the most complex things in all doors. And you were referencing an article about how different disciplines all approach something as seemingly simple as a door from a different perspective. And I wanted to get your takes on it. So for all of your different departments, when somebody says, okay, we need to add a door here, what's the first, I see you nodding, shaking your head. What's the first question that comes to your mind when somebody says we have to add a door here?
Do we really need it?
We need a meeting to talk.
Are you sure?
For an artist, what is it going to look like?
Okay, fair. Artist is what it's.
And then we need an Excel sheet to define all of the departments that are going to need to work on that door, and then ETAs, and then add a 2-week buffer for that ETA, because something is going to go wrong. Something is going to go wrong for sure.
Door never opens.
Spoken like a true producer.
Never
Let's
first
say-
try.
Let's
First try
say it
never
close.
happens.
All right, tech art. What's your question when somebody says door?
Either you want it closed, either you want it open all the time. That's what you want.
Do you want it to open and close?
No, you never want it to open or close. You want it to stay open or stay closed, but you don't want the animation part of it. You don't want to have the detection part of it. Like,
'Cause
how do
it's
you
so-
open it?
yeah. It's so complicated because how do you deal with the collisions? Do they move at the same time as the door? What happens if you attach a gadget to the door and the door opens or closes? Does the gadget fall on the ground? Does it explode? Do you lose your gadget? How do bullets react with the collision? How does enemy react with the doors when a door opens or closes in front of the enemy? Does it cut the nav mesh or it doesn't cut the nav mesh? Do we have that
Do you
tech in
see
the
the-
game? It's
do you
like
see the
crazy, and this
gun?
is just the
Yeah.
tip of the
Behind
iceberg.
it.
Now the best one is this door normally auto opens when you get close to it, except during the mission, stage 3, if the dude said the door is now locked, right? Which is, yeah.
And then we start with a door, and then 1 month later there's a co-op door, and then a month after there's a double door, and then another month there's going to be a security door.
Then there's a breakable one and a metal one that's unbreakable. One that locks with
And
a
once
key.
you think that it's rock solid and that you've seen every possible thing that could go wrong, you give it to a QA, and within 5 minutes it breaks it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He looks at it and it's broken.
Yep.
And then
Pretty
let's what does concept do with a door, really?
You just it can't be a simple rectangular door. You got to see how much detail you can fit onto this door, how much decals you can put on it, maybe a warning sign on your door, how much panel lines you can put on the door. Just it can't be a simple metal door. No such thing in Star
Yeah,
Citizen.
warning signs
don't
like-
open it.
Warning, this is a door.
Yeah.
It opens.
And needs to be
And
original too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brittany,
got
what
the-
do you think that Pierre Luke would say in a door review? In the concept door review?
Oh, he would say it's not door enough. Just need to be more door.
It's not
I need
door
to adore
enough.
it.
Not
I need
Or
to
Actually,
door,
pretty
such
accurate.
wow.
Pierre Luke is in the chat right now, waiting to see his response. All right, so yeah. One last thing. We never know when the next time you're going to get to see the members of the Star Citizen community. This week's show was kind of was attempting to do something on the side and contrive a reason to introduce so many of you to the community, because I think that is one of the better aspects of working for Star Citizen, is this connection that developers can build with the community. And you folks here at Turbulent, this was my way of trying to make you feel welcome and part of the team. So I hope we've accomplished a little of that, at least today.
Thanks.
Because I don't know the next time any of you are going to get to talk to them, is there some message, some lasting thing you want the Star Citizens to know about you and your work before we let you go?
Maybe I can just go super quickly, then I'll let the other guys. Is to the community, like we've been. It's really important to us to see what you guys are writing and to see the posts, the Reddit posts, the forums. So please continue to give feedback. Please continue to engage with us. I think the entirety of the dev team is looking at it, and if they're not looking at Reddit, the other ones are sharing on our internal network. So please continue. Please answer Nano if he's asking you questions. And on regarde tous vos commentaires et s'il vous plaît continuez.
Nano, what's your Reddit handle?
Oh,
So,
shit.
Wanna go there?
Don't do
Not
it.
your throwaway.
Don't do it.
No, I'm
You
not
have
gonna
to-
do that.
You have to do that incognito.
No, but usually I just ask questions on YouTube in the comment section where I poke, because it's hard on YouTube to actually poke the person that posts the video, so you have to like ask it in the chat. But I rarely get any answer, but we just keep searching on the planets. We eventually find those spots. But I mean, for the community, we do look at not all your videos, but most of them as much as we can. We read through the comments, we also get a lot of inspiration from your comments. I mean, it's crazy the amount of, first of all, you guys are super involved and creative. So sometimes we just go into comments and, oh yeah, that would be a cool mission. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. And we just put it in our brainstorming board, and it's there and it's in our back pocket, ready to go when we have that feature good to go. I know I read a lot of comments whenever my engine crashes and I need to restart it. I'll just read through a few comments, watch a few Star Citizen videos.
Are you saying that the game crashes a lot on your machine?
The engine, yeah.
Moving on.
The machine is good. I love everything about this game.
Well, I guess that's one unique thing for Montreal is the engine, because a lot of the studios around here use Unreal or some other proprietary engines. So I guess we're all in this at the same time learning it. So
Yeah, that's
a
cool.
challenge.
Like a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Any other lasting messages for the community, guys?
Besides,
Brittany?
You guys are as much part of that project as we are. I think this is a whole. Like we're we have the chance of working on this because of you guys. So thank you, and keep the feedback coming. We always have a tremendous day when a video comes out and there's positive feedback. We spend all day like sharing with each other and posting in our internal communication channels. So keep it coming, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the support. It's a beast of a project, so
Yeah,
we'll
and
get there.
every day we're working thinking about your experience, guys. So we want to make it bigger. We want to make it better, just to say the least. So yeah, don't think that we are not caring. We are really caring. That's for sure.
Well, at least in
It's
the first
always
couple
cool.
years. Then you become dead inside like me.
Come to Montreal, Jared.
It's like-
We'll take care of
The
you.
poutine
Yeah.
will
It's like
save you.
2018.
The official invitation has been submitted by the entire team, Jared. So we're gonna have to arrange that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I still need to go axe throwing.
There you go.
All right, folks, that's it. That's this week's Star Citizen Live Turbulent Roundtable. Thank you for joining us. Remember that we are on the road to Digital CitizenCon this year. It takes place on October 9th. There's a number of contests and stuff going on right now. Costume contests, video contests, chances to win prizes of all manner and sort. You should check out the robertspaceindustries.com website for that. We're also really close to our next Ship Showdown. If you remember Ship Showdown from last year, a chance to vote, a bracket, tournament style voting for the top 16 spaceships in Star Citizen, and then the winners get fancy accoutrement in the Precision universe. So that starts real soon. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And then, of course, Ship Showdown, then Digital CitizenCon, and then after that in November, it's IAE, the return of. So we're in Star Citizen's busiest quarter, and somewhere in the middle of all that, Alpha 315. Which we're pushing full steam ahead. If you haven't checked out the segment in yesterday's Inside Star Citizen on hospitals, do that. That paired along with the new player healing mechanics that are also coming online with 315 aim to be a pretty sizable shift to life and death in the persistent universe. So let's see if I can do this. Nano, Annie, Benoit, Guillaume, Benjamin, Guillaume, Brittany, Jacob, Rayner.
Close.
I did it all.
Jason.
You missed,
Close.
you missed
This one.
Jacob.
I was
You're
so
close. You were
But-
close.
You were doing so good.
But
bye.
from now on,
Bye.
Jason is Jacob.
Yeah.
I
Jacob,
Call me
look at
Jay.
this.
Yeah.
I really thought I had it. I was so proud of
Oh,
myself.
I really believed in it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
The last
great.
game.